All right, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Ask Avera. In this episode, I'm going to answer the question, what is my relationship with God like in light of my same-sex attractions? This is a fascinating question that I actually like a great deal. Now, I'm going to take you back a couple of years to when I was in high school. So, my relationship with God back then, I think, is I had a relationship with him. You know, like my sophomore year of high school, I actually went to this huge retreat held in the Archdiocese of Mobile called ACYC. And I had this really powerful encounter with Christ, specifically at Eucharistic adoration. It's like I tweeted a couple of years ago that all Catholic girls want to hear those three words: Saturday night adoration. It was a really beautiful experience, and I really enjoyed myself and really came away from the conference knowing that Christ loved me and wanting a relationship with him. However, again, a couple months later was when I met the girl that I would end up really falling for. And my relationship with Christ was good. It just wasn't great. You know, I wasn't really mature in the ways that I needed to be in order to handle this the correct way. You know, so I just had no idea what to do. And I remember just kind of always thinking that God was infuriated with me, you know, was so angry with me all of the time. And, you know, I was almost constantly trying to like suppress his anger, you know, where I just don't hurt me yet, you know, I'll get better, you know, just don't do anything to me yet, you know, don't do anything to me now, you know, just I'll get better, just hold on a second. You know, not knowing that God is so merciful and so good and such a gentle Father who wants to heal me, who wants to actually go through the process of revealing himself to me slowly but surely, you know, and actually wants to walk with me and doesn't want to smite me for everything that I do wrong. You know, he's definitely a just God, but I think before he's just, he's so merciful, you know, and that's the part that I don't think I understood. So again, I was in this constant state of, don't hurt me, you know, just don't smite me. I will be better, you know, just, it's okay. Like, just let me handle this. Not knowing that, you know, God was kind of like in my face, just being like, how about you stop trying to handle it? Because that's why you keep falling. That's why you keep doing the same things over and over again, because you keep trying to handle it yourself. How about you let me do this? I am God after all, you know? So it took a while for me to understand what he was trying to do with me, and that, you know, ultimately he wanted this relationship with me that I just wouldn't give him because I was so afraid that he wouldn't want a relationship with me if I kept sinning, specifically in regards to my same-sex attractions. So now, having matured a bit, having developed a different style of prayer, and really coming to know who God is and letting him actually reveal himself to me, I think one of the things that I've come away with that is really important to me now is just being, instead of trying to do all of the time, trying to like make sure that I'm doing holy things so that I will consider myself holy, or that other people will consider me holy, or even that God would consider me holy. I think I mentioned this book last week, but Carol Houselander's book, The Reed of God, is by far one of my favorite books. And she says in the book that it's revealed time and time again that to God, to be something comes before doing something. she specifically talks about the Blessed Mother and how God didn't really ask her to change her life or to do anything. He asked her to be and to let him do something in her, and I think that is what I'm trying to do, is not try to be or not try to do anything, to make myself more holy or anything like that, especially like trying to suppress same-sex desires, because I think a lot of the times, and I've done this without necessarily realizing I was doing it, but in an effort to try and not deal with the fact that I'm attracted to other women, I would just try to do like all these holy things, like pray the rosary or stay in adoration for 5 hours, and and like do stuff like this so I wouldn't have to deal with it, instead of just being and let Christ be in that space with me. And the more that I've tried to do that, the better that I've gotten at it. And it's still one of those things that I think is very uncomfortable, which I think is the number one reason that he wants me to persist, is because I'm so uncomfortable with it, because I've convinced myself again that I have to keep doing things in order to, I have to keep growing in merit, and I have to do all of these holy things in order for God to have a relationship with me. But that's not the case at all. It's actually the opposite is true. It's really, I have to just be, and, eventually just being will manifest as me doing those things, just really out of habit, or not even out of habit, but out of love. And I think that was the other thing, is I was afraid that if I didn't do all of these things that I wouldn't get to heaven. So I tried like doing all of these things, but really I was doing them out of routine or out of fear of not eventually going to heaven one day. But now my mind is more focused on, okay, I have to be the person who does all of those things, not a person who does all of those things in order to try and act like a person who just naturally does all of those things. And I think that this goes for any struggle, like it doesn't just have to be same-sex attraction. It can really be anything. And we really just have to let Christ reveal himself to us and have a relationship with us, because ultimately he's not going to force himself on us. Not everybody is going to have a St. Paul moment where all just, happens all at once and he just reveals himself in that way. For a lot of us, I know for me especially, God likes to go on this like slow walk, this slow journey, and he likes to reveal himself over time. And, we can't stay put in one where he reveals one aspect. We have to keep going and just keep resting in the fact that we know he's revealing himself to us. And it really doesn't matter what you're struggling with, or what your faults or your flaws or your downfalls are, that ultimately where sin runs deep, grace abounds all the more. So thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I just spaced. Like, turn on the bell notifications. Michael's back here like trying to figure out which one I missed. Thank you all so much for watching again. Come back next Wednesday for another video. Bye. That was hilarious.